Have you ever looked at the massive mansions of the ultra-wealthy and wondered how they afford it all? Imagine for a moment that you could live like a literal king or queen. You could have private jets and luxury yachts at your beck and call. You could travel to the most expensive resorts in the world. But here is the part that will really blow your mind. You do all of this while paying exactly $0 in taxes to the government. Does that sound like a beautiful dream or a total scam? For the world's billionaires, it is just a normal Tuesday morning. While you are working your tail off and watching a huge slice of your paycheck disappear every single month, these people are playing a completely different game. They are not actually breaking any laws at all. They are not hiding their gold in a secret vault on a remote island. Instead, they are using a financial strategy that has been hiding in plain sight for over 100 years. It is a secret playbook that keeps the rich getting richer while everyone else struggles. Today, I am going to pull back the curtain on this hidden world for you. You are going to see exactly how the ultra-wealthy keep their money and why the system seems to work against the average person. Welcome to the channel, and I am so glad you are here. I am Siraz Patwari. If you truly want to understand how money and power really work in our modern world, then you have found the right place. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an update. Also, give this video a quick like so we can share this vital information with more people. Believe me when I say that what you are about to hear will change the way you look at your own bank account forever. Let's be honest about the game we are all playing. For years, most people thought the ultra-rich were just better at finding loopholes. We assumed they had some secret offshore accounts that nobody could find. But the truth is much more elegant and much more frustrating. This strategy actually has a name. A law professor at USC named Edward McCaffrey came up with it in the mid-90s. He called it buy, borrow, die. At first, other experts thought he was making it sound too simple. They didn't believe the tax system could be that broken. But then something happened in 2021 that proved him right. A massive leak of IRS data showed that the world's richest people were paying almost nothing in taxes. It wasn't a theory anymore. It was a proven fact. These billionaires were using the law exactly as it was written. They weren't bending any rules. They were just using a part of the system that most of us never get to see. Let's talk about that feeling you get during tax season. You probably feel a sharp sting when you see those numbers. Most of us go to a job and earn a standard salary. But before that money even touches your bank account, the government has already taken its cut. They take money for your federal income taxes. They take money for your Social Security and your health care. By the time you get your hands on the money, it is already much smaller. Then you try to save what is left to buy a house or put it in a savings account. But the wealthy have completely flipped this script on its head. They do not want a salary at all. They avoid traditional paychecks like the plague. Do you want to know why? It is because a regular paycheck is a giant magnet for taxes. Instead of working for a wage, they focus on something much more powerful. They focus on buying things that grow in value over a long period of time. We are talking about stocks that do not pay out dividends. We are talking about high-end luxury real estate and rare art collections. In the world of finance, these are known as appreciating assets. The secret at the heart of this strategy is incredibly simple. As long as you do not sell these things, the government cannot touch your wealth. Think about it this way. Imagine you buy a beautiful painting for $1 million. 10 years go by, and now that same painting is worth $10 million. On paper, you are now $9 million richer than you were before. But because that painting is still hanging on your wall, you owe exactly $0 in taxes. The IRS just has to sit there on the sidelines and watch. They have to watch your massive wealth grow while they cannot collect a single penny from you. This is the very foundation of the entire strategy. It all starts with buying the right assets and then holding on to them forever. For most people, this probably sounds like it would be impossible. You might be asking yourself how someone pays for their food if they never sell their assets. How do you buy a car or a house if all your money is tied up in stocks? This is exactly where the real magic happens. The second step of this plan is where things get really clever. Once a person has built up a massive pile of these assets, they do not need to sell them to get cash. They simply use their wealth as collateral. Imagine walking into a very private bank with $20 million in stocks. You tell the bank manager that you want to borrow $5 million. The bank looks at your massive portfolio and says yes immediately. They give you a huge line of credit with a very low interest rate. Now, I want you to stop and think about this for a second. If you had earned $5 million as a normal salary, you might have to pay $2 million of that in taxes. But when you borrow $5 million, it is not legally considered income. The government does not tax money that you have borrowed. This means you get the full $5 million to spend however you want. You can buy a brand new mansion or start a new company. You can fly around the world in total luxury. And the best part is that the IRS treats that $5 million like it doesn't even exist. The terms that banks offer on these loans are absolutely incredible. Because the bank knows you are extremely wealthy, they give you the best deals imaginable. Your interest rate might be as low as 2 or 3% every year. Meanwhile, your assets in the stock market might be growing by 7 or 8% every year. I want you to do the math on that right now. You are paying 3% to the bank, but your wealth is growing by 8%. You are actually making a profit while you are spending borrowed money. It is a financial cycle that never has to end. As your assets grow even larger, your ability to borrow more money increases. You just keep taking out bigger loans to pay off your old ones, or to fund your expensive lifestyle. Your actual wealth stays completely untouched and continues to compound in the background. It is like a perpetual motion machine for your money. But the story doesn't end there. You might be thinking that surely the bill comes due at some point. This is where we reach the third and final step of the playbook. And I have to warn you that this is the part that might make you a little bit angry. It involves the way we pass our wealth down to the next generation. When an average person dies, their family often has to deal with massive financial headaches. But for the ultra-wealthy, our tax code has a very special gift. It is a rule called the stepped-up basis. Let's say a person bought a stock 50 years ago for only $10. Now that stock has grown, and it is worth $500. If they had sold it while they were still alive, they would owe a fortune in capital gains taxes. But if they hold on to it until the day they die, something crazy happens. Their heirs inherit that stock at the current market value of $500. For tax purposes, it is as if that original $10 price never existed at all. All of those decades of growth and all those millions of dollars in gains simply disappear. The heirs can sell the stock immediately for $500, and they will owe $0 in taxes. They can then take that tax-free cash and pay off all the loans the person took out while they were alive. Whatever money is left over becomes their pure and total inheritance. The family wealth not only survives, but it actually gets stronger as it moves from one generation to the next. This is how massive financial dynasties are built in this country. It is a system that clearly favors inherited wealth over hard work and earned income. Let's take a look at a real-world example to see just how powerful this can be. Imagine a woman named Maria. She builds a very successful business and ends up with exactly $1 million. Now, most people would take that $1 million and start spending it. But Maria knows the rules of the game. She invests that $1 million into a portfolio of assets that grow very quietly. She doesn't want dividends, and she doesn't want rent coming in. She only wants the total value of her assets to go up. Let's say her portfolio grows at a very steady and safe rate. After 10 years, her $1 million is now worth $2 million. She has a $1 million profit. If she were to sell those assets now, she might have to pay $250,000 in taxes. That is a massive chunk of her hard-earned money gone forever. Instead of selling, Maria goes to a very elite private bank. She uses her $2 million portfolio as collateral for a massive loan. The bank gives her access to over $1 million in cold, hard cash. The interest rate she pays is much lower than the tax bill would have been. While she uses that cash to live a great life, her portfolio just keeps on growing. If her investments grow faster than the interest she pays her bank, then she is actually winning. Many years later, her portfolio has grown all the way to $8 million. She has millions of dollars in outstanding loans, but she doesn't care about them at all. When she eventually passes away, her children inherit the full $8 million. Because of the stepped-up basis rules, they do not owe any taxes on all of that growth. They can sell half of the assets to pay off all the old loans, and they are left with $4 million of tax-free money. Maria lived a very lavish life for 30 years, and her family is still much richer than when she started. And what was the total tax bill for all of this? It was basically zero. This is not something that is just happening to a few lucky people. This has become a massive and sophisticated industry. Major global banks have entire departments that are dedicated to helping the wealthy do exactly this. They call this service securities-based lending. If you have at least $1 million in assets, these banks will compete for your business. The more money you have, the better the deal the bank will give you. Someone with $50 million will get a much lower interest rate than someone with only $5 million. The system is designed to literally reward you for being richer. And it is not just for stocks and bonds anymore. You can now borrow against your real estate or your private equity. You can even borrow against your expensive art or your luxury car collections. The financial world has created a tool for every single kind of wealth. Think about how this strategy scales up. If you have $10 million, you can borrow $7 million and live a life most people can only dream of. If you have $100 million, you can borrow $70 million and still watch your net worth grow every single year. The more wealth you have, the better the system works for you. It creates this massive compounding effect that lasts for generations. This is why we see wealth inequality exploding right now. You cannot collect taxes on wealth that is never turned into income. You can't take a cut of capital gains if the assets are never sold to a buyer. The ultra-wealthy have basically figured out how to opt out of the tax system that the rest of us are forced to use. This also changes the way our entire stock market works. Usually we think people buy stocks to eventually sell them and take their profits. But if the people with the most money never plan to sell their shares, what does that do? It creates a massive shortage of shares in the market. This pushes the prices higher and higher for everyone else. So the wealthy are not just avoiding taxes, they are also inflating the value of their own holdings by keeping them locked away forever. They are playing a game of three-dimensional chess, while the rest of us are stuck playing checkers on a broken board. It is very easy to see why wealth inequality is growing so incredibly fast. You simply cannot tax wealth that is never turned into income. You cannot collect taxes on gains if the assets are never sold to a buyer. The ultra-wealthy have essentially found a way to opt out of the system that everyone else has to follow. While politicians argue about raising or lowering tax rates, it often doesn't even matter to the people at the very top. You could raise the tax rate to 90% tomorrow, and it wouldn't change anything for them. They aren't selling anything, so they do not have a taxable income to report. It creates a very strange reality, where a nurse or a teacher might pay a higher percentage of their income in taxes than a billionaire. This strategy also changes the way our whole economy works. Think about the stock market for a moment. Usually people buy stocks because they want to eventually sell them for a profit. But if the richest people in the world never plan to sell their assets, it creates a massive shortage. There are fewer shares available for everyone else to buy. This pushes prices higher and higher for everyone. The wealthy are not just avoiding their taxes, they are also potentially inflating the value of their own investments by keeping them locked away forever. It is like they are playing a complex game of three-dimensional chess, while the rest of us are stuck playing checkers. Understanding this can be a bit overwhelming and frustrating. It feels like the game was rigged from the very beginning. We are all taught to work hard and save our money. We are told that we must pay our fair share to support society. But then we see that there is a secret exit that the ultra-wealthy use every single day. It is important for you to know that this is not a conspiracy theory. It is a series of legal choices made by people who understand the tax code better than most. They are using the rules exactly as they were written by the government. The real question we should be asking is why the rules were written this way in the first place. The psychological impact of learning this is huge. It changes the way you see the world around you. You start to realize that the headlines about billionaires paying low taxes are not just about loopholes. They are about a fundamental design in our entire financial system. The middle class continues to foot the bill for the whole country, while the people with the most resources can simply choose not to participate. This is exactly why wealth inequality continues to explode no matter who is in power. Let's look at the headlines we see every day. We hear politicians shouting about tax rates and fairness, but the truth is that they are missing the point. Tax rates are irrelevant when you don't have a taxable income. You could raise capital gains taxes to 90% tomorrow. It wouldn't affect a billionaire using this strategy because they never sell anything. It creates a bizarre world where a teacher earning $60,000 a year pays a higher rate than a person worth $60 billion. The nurse and the engineer and the small business owner are the ones paying the bills for the country. Meanwhile, the ultra-rich are getting marketing materials from banks that call this wealth optimization. It's just corporate speak for avoiding taxes. As we wrap this up today, I want you to think about your own financial journey. We might not all have millions of dollars to play this game yet, but we can still learn from it. Understanding how the wealthy protect their money is the first step in taking control of your own future. Knowledge is the only way we can ever level the playing field. I hope this deep dive into the secret tax playbook has been eye-opening for you. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today. If you found this information helpful, please share it with someone else who needs to hear the truth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of finance and wealth. I am Siraz Patwari, and I am here to help you navigate this complex world of money. I want you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this strategy. Does it make you angry, or does it inspire you to change how you invest your own money? I would love to hear your honest thoughts on this. Until next time, please keep learning and stay focused on your long-term goals.